In this video, I'm going to go through a full walkthrough on how I edit my podcast episodes. Let's jump right in. So first of all, stay organized as possible. So have a folder for everything for every episode, right? So I have my audio, video, and my resources. Let's jump into the audio. I have my audio tracks from my separate recorder. I would say it's best to do this because you can alter every speaker. And then for my resources, I have my intro, subscribe, my logo as in a thumbnail, and my outro. And then we're going to go into the actual clip of the podcast. So on this, I have one camera view, and I will show you how to make multiple out of one. And then certain things I do on mine, I have clips I play on screen and I have people react. So let's jump into CapCut. First, I'm going to show you what is key right here. So I'm in Trello right here. Here's where I keep everything, as in let me show you real quick. So I have this all organized, like as in certain things I have to do. I have my resources, edit in progress, edit done, right? So I will have this template down below so you can copy and paste it, right? All for free. So you have all this options here, right? We will go over all of this, but I just wanted to show you what we're gonna do. So on this, first, we're going to upload all of our options here, right? So let me bring this off to the side and let's hop into CapCut. So we are in CapCut. I'm hoping you already have this downloaded on to your actual computer. It just makes things so much easier. So we're going to come up to create project. Cool. So here's what it's going to look like. First things first, if you don't have a OK fast computer, you're going to come up here to menu. You're going to come up here to settings, and you're going to turn on proxy, as in performance. All this is going to do is make your editing smoother. It won't be as high as quality, but at the end, as you download your whole project, it's going to either do HD or 4K, depending on what you edited in. So you would keep all this, and you're going to click this box, and then you're going to press save. I'm not going to do it because I have a somewhat decent computer. You guys, I've went through about 4 computers, yeesh, right? So, and then from here you have your options. I'm not going to go super into detail on what everything does. I'm just going to show you what works, and we're going to jump in it. So first, we're going to name your project. So I'm going to go to podcast tutorial, and for you it would be the episode 1, episode 2. Here, let's just do episode 1, right? So we're going to go that, and we're going to press enter. You can alter this as you export. So it's empty. Okay, I have to have something on timeline, but you can change this name as you upload, right? So now we're going to import all of our stuff, as in our footage, audio, intro card, all that stuff. So we're going to get this a little small so I can show you on one screen. I'm going to go into the podcast tutorial folder, and so we have our audio, resources, and video. What I like to do is just drag all this in. You can import it. You can go up to your desktop and all that stuff. You can do it from there. I just like to drag and drop everything out of their folders, because you can take this folder and drop it in. I don't like to do that because I like to see everything all at one time. All up to you. So I'm going to press undo. So now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go into the audio and come here. I'm going to drag that in. Cool. Now I'm going to come back to this folder, the resources. I'm going to take this, drag it all in, and then the video. As you can see, this one is 70.1 gigs. So hopefully you have some kind of external drive, or you have a PC that has a lot of space, because you guys, it eats it up quick. So just see that I'm not going to do the whole almost 3-hour video in this one. I'm gonna cut it down to a half. So we're gonna copy, we're gonna drag all that in. Cool. So now we actually don't need this screen anymore. So I'm gonna exit out of that. Then we're gonna make this big. First things first is to sync everything. So you can add this to track. You can press this plus button, or you can drag it in. I like to press the plus button or drag it. It all depends. So I have that in, and now I'm going to add in the audio files. So how I like to do it, I just like to add in one right now, and then I'll sync these up later, because these all start at the exact same time. So I'm gonna add in the audio. So you have two main tracks. You have your one for your audio on the bottom, and one for the video right here. And there is a small line right here that goes across, because if I export this one, extract the audio, it's going to drop below this button, right? So I'm gonna do that. So now I'm gonna sync these. So I'm gonna press V as in Victor on my keyboard, or you can right click on a track and you can deactivate the clip. So I just did that, press V. So now I'm gonna listen to this and I'm gonna sync it. As you're doing your podcast recordings, do like a loud clap or something, so that you can do this easier in post edit. So I believe, and it's cool that you can see it as well, because as you scrub through it, I'm gonna clap twice. Okay, so I'm gonna play it right here.
You put like your fist, it should be like sync it all.
One more time.
Okay. You also have the option to higher or lower your volumes, right? That's all on you, but remember to take this down. So let's come back.
It should be like
Sync it all. One more time.
Okay. So what I like to do is, all right, so the peak is part about, that's where I start to clap. So I put either a marker right there normally, or I put a sticker there. It doesn't matter what sticker you use. I just use what's like super fast there. So you don't want that on screen. So again, you're gonna press V as in Victor on the actual keyboard or mouse, or again, right click on the actual clip you want. So you can press V and it's gone, right? So cool. Now we're going to go over to the audio track and we're going to hear it, right? Because you can't see it, you can just hear it. So I'm gonna take this off and then I'm gonna activate that. So we're going here.
Sync it all.
All right, so, which is cool, you have this right about here, right? So I'm gonna add, actually, that's an audio track. I'm actually gonna split it here. I'm not going to delete this, because I want all of the audio tracks to sync up. So keep that. So we're gonna zoom out. Okay, so now we're gonna find this part right here where I marked. I'm gonna highlight that and I'm gonna split it. So you can come over here to the split function. It's Control B on your timeline. So you're gonna press that with your mouse. And from here, I like to turn off the track magnet, because if you don't, it's going to shoot over, and this track and this track are not linked. Right, I'm going to show you that right now. So if I have the track magnet right here on, it's going to shoot over, right? In some cases you do want that, in some cases you don't. And if you guys look, this marker, as in the sticker I used, it's not with that. So as we come back, cool. You have an option to turn that on. That's going to be this button right here. Turn on the linkage. All it does is link your sticker or your text with the track. So I'm going to show you that right now. Turn this on, take that out, and as you can see, it linked with it. Sometimes I have it on, sometimes I don't. Right now, I'm not going to. So let me turn that back off, turn off the linkage. So right here, I'm going to make sure this is lined up. So I'm going to turn off the track magnet, and I'm going to move this clip over to where I have this. So we're going to play this, and we're going to see how it sounds.
Sync it all.
Like this.
Sync it again. All right.
A little bit of.
Cool. So here's the main difference between how these actually sound. So I'm going to show you this real quick. So here's the Sony ZV-1. This is the Zoom H6 via XLR with the Samson Q2Us. It's cute.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Unbiased Dating
Dating podcast where we explore the interesting topics
of dating, relationships, and marriage. As you can kind of hear it, guys, it's different. So just wanted to show you that. So if you want to go out of all that, you're just going to press undo. So now that it's synced up, I am going to add in all of the audio tracks. So we have 1, 2, cool, and 3, and 4. Awesome. So you have all this synced up. Now we're going to hop over to the video side. So make sure you do this before anything. So, and I'm going to tell you why in a bit. So let's just say I want to crop this out, or as you can see, it's not super level. So I'm going to rotate this. I try and get the lines up there topped out. So I'm actually going to rotate my picture. That's decent. So if you do, cool. But if you guys look here, you have black right here. All this black, that's going to be up in the shot. So we're going to have to zoom in a bit. So this is scale. So we're going to hop into that, probably 3. And as you can see, I am out of the shot, but that was my bad on how I took that angle. So just make sure you don't have any black in there. Cool. And now you're going to do the color. It's all up to you. You're going to go to adjustment, and you're going to go to either exposure, contrast, or whatever. So you don't have to do this if you set up your white balance as you did before you started recording. That right there is key, because you would have to do all this stuff to make it look decent. So mine's okay. I'm going to keep it how it is. So you do this because let's say you're right here and you're like, oh, there's not enough zoom or something, right? So if you come here and you're like, okay, he says or if you just had to cut right here. So if you're like, okay, cool, I need to zoom in here. Since this has been cut away from these tracks, only this small piece of content is going to be altered, not these. So as you can see, I zoomed into this to 122. If I click over here, I'm at 104. And if you play it, cute.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Guys, that is no fun. And so be sure to do this before. That is key. I made that mistake plenty of times, and I'm like, whoa, and I was heated. So let's undo all that. So now you're all said and done. All you'd have to do is sync these up and take these out if you're okay with how all of this sounds. But I wouldn't combine these all into one, because you have some people who speak louder than the other people. So for right now, I'm going to take all this and I'm going to come over to where it starts.
Yeah.
All right, welcome.
All right. So I don't want the all right up in there. I'll just go welcome.
All right, welcome.
All right, cool. So now we're going to cut this. We're going to cut all this. So let's highlight all this. Cool. You have that cut. I'm going to zoom out so I can see it better. And now you're going to cut all of this out while making sure you have the track magnet off, because this track will move, these will not. I'm going to show you. So as you can see, that already moved over. I'm going to get out of that. It moved over because it wants to go all the way to the front. So let me take this out. I'm going to press that, and so from here, if you had this on, it's only going to shoot this front track over, and now it's going to be out of sync. So be mindful of that. Let me press that, and now you could highlight all of this and drag it, or I like to take select rightward, and I'm going to pull it all the way to the front. So now I have a few options. If this one was a 2-hour podcast, which it is, I would actually upload this to YouTube and hear it from there, because I'm not trying to sit here for 2 hours. But let's up it down to 20, right? So I'm gonna select my cursor. I'm going to take this. I'm gonna split this. I would say don't do this on yours. I'm just showing you to make this a bit smoother and easier. So now that you have all this done, as in your audio is uploaded, it's synced and all that kind of stuff. You did your color, your angle, your size, the audio. So now we are going to hear all of it. You can add in your intro right now. Cool. I don't. I just wait and then I'll do it after. But now you're going to come in, you're going to hear it. Now that you have all the sync done, you have it all said and done, you are going to turn off the audio on this main track. So either you could extract the audio, cool, and then it's going to give you a separate clip. If you guys look at the names, C029, you're going to delete that, cool. Or you go back, or you can just take this and mute the whole track that way, or you can come up to audio and go all the way down. All up to you. I just like to mute the track. It's faster. So now you should only hear 1, 2, 3, 4 on the mics.
Welcome to the unbiased.
Cool, right? And then you come over here.
Speaking about on that certain.
Cool. And then if you guys look over here to
What year?
Yeah, who though?
all the laughs. So if you just want all of this and it sounds good, you're not trying to add a compressor, the EQ, and all that kind of stuff, you're set in stone, right? So all you would do is go in here and kind of hear it, make sure it makes sense. There's no the F words going down. But it's cool because let's just say you have him. This is mic number 3. 1, 2, 3. If he wasn't as loud, as in for some reason you didn't turn up the gain on the audio, and it's like super low, and he's actually speaking. I don't know if he is or not. Okay, but
I forget.
In like October or something.
okay, cool. You can actually you can higher it up, right? So it'll match. So here's a quick little tip I did not know for a while. So as you're playing this,
Of what they're supposed to be.
you can actually, this right here is a button, I guess. You can click that and it's going to bring up your audio over on the side. You want it, I guess, no more than -3 about, right? So you don't want anything super loud, as in let me turn up mine to the red here.
The side of the road.
$100?
Yeah.
Oh, he jacked.
So that right there would be too high. It would clip, right? So I would just bring it down to.
You
That's what I mean. They were nice.
They were very nice.
I believe it. They're
but
beautiful.
they're not worth 100.
to about there. If you want to hear your own track, you could.
No, they're like
inactive
25 on a
equip.
regular day.
Cool.
Well,
Awesome. So now that you're all set and done with that, you come in, you're making your clips, you have somebody who drops an F-bomb in there, you're going to come in, you're going to be, okay, you're going to come in here, you're going to press the split button, you're going to go over to where it ends, you're going to come over there, you're going to split it again. I like to zoom in like really deep on that. And if you want to get this out of the way, you can just press the button again. So this right here, you're going to come up, you're going to go to the volume, and you're just going to press it all the way down. Right?
That was the date, though.
Like you can't hear me on the mic. So certain things you will go in and hear your actual podcast. But what's cool at the same time, I will hear it and I'm like, okay, this one is a new thing we're speaking about, as in how you date or something of that sort. So I will use text. I'll put text here. I'll make it big. And I'm going to go to new topic, right? And then I'm going to press enter. But I don't want this on the actual screen. I'm going to press V. So you can't see it here, but you can see it here. So as you do that, as you hear it, you're like, oh, wow, that sounds awesome. I could use that. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to go to paste. And I'm going to press like new topic 2. Right? And then as you come over, you're like, okay, this sounds good here. Copy, paste, new topic 3. Awesome. Right? So I do that for, if you're going to use this for clips, which you should, I'm going to show you that in a bit, or for shorts. If you're like, hey, this would be on point if you're going to do shorts. So again, I use something separate for shorts because if you have them all on text, you will, I guess, get confused a bit. So I'm going to come up to stickers. And again, you could use a certain sticker. So I'm going to come over here to the sticker. Come over there. I'm going to extend it so it's easier to see. As in, if you have like a 2-hour podcast and you just see this, and it's huge, you can see this more than that. But all up to you. So I'll use that and I'll be like, wow, that's an awesome short piece. Or if I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to copy that and etc., etc. That's going to help you out for sure. Also, you could write down what clips you want. So let's say if you're over here and you're, let's just say over at 6 minutes. I'm going to put 6 minutes right there. And then you will have an option to put shorts as well. So let's just say at the shorts you were at like 5 minutes. Cool. As you're doing your editing, I have this open, right? We will hop into all this stuff in a bit. You're all said and done. You went in and had the ums and if people were saying F words. So now we are going to add in the intro and the outro, right? So after you have all this said and done, I'm going to select leftward, so it's going to grab everything. So I'm going to come to the end here, and I'm going to drag all this, only enough space so I can put my intro in. So I'm going to take that off. All I did to move from your select leftward and rightward is press A on the cursor, right? Or you can come back here every time. Perfectly fine. So now I'm going to import my intro. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to import it on the actual stamp here, timeline, and then I'm going to bring this over and you have your intro. Right, so let's play that. Cool. Because it's muted, you won't hear it. So all up to you. I like to take this audio down. So I'm gonna come over here. Cool. So from here, I'm gonna cut that right there because it's just gonna show that. I want these to blend together. So right about there, I'm gonna cut. And again, make sure this track magnet is off. I always look at this because it's, yeah, no fun. So from there, I'm gonna take that. I'm going to pull everything over till it hits that marker there. That's why you have this one highlighted. This is auto snapping, which is, I'm going to show you again. So this will snap into place, right? So you have that. We're going to play that.
Welcome.
That right there is not great. So I'm going to add a transition. I use, I believe 2 are my main ones. So I'm going to come up here into transitions. I'm going to click that button. It's going to drop down. I'm going to go to overlay. So I like to use mix. So I'm going to put it right there. Cool.
Welcome to the
That looks decent. Or you can do like a black fade in there. See how that looks?
Welcome to the
Cool. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to add in your outro. Let's go all the way to the back, or you can press this button, or you can go all the way to the back. So I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna go to the outro. Cool. So I'm gonna come over here. Let's zoom in a little bit, and so here's a small tip as well. Let's say you do zoom in, and you, let's say for right now, we have to come out to the back. Let's say we're over here, and for some reason we are zoomed in over here. If you press play, it's going to shoot you over to where your timeline indicator is, which is sick. So small tip. So now let's just say you wanted to end it up. You could use your animations on this, and you can also use your transitions into this. I like the smoke one, wherever it is. There it is. So I like to use the smoke, and let's see what that looks like.
But yeah.
The animation with that does not look good. So I'm gonna go to none, and cool, awesome. So keep that in mind, because this clip right here is going to become handy when you link these together and do all the extras on YouTube, right? So with these, you also have an option to extend the black smoke time, as in this. That looks decent, right? Cool. So now you are all set and done to upload and all that stuff. But if you want people to get more engaged, as in to stay along, so as you were in here, like, okay, yeah, this is a short, as in we used this as a short, right? If you kind of go in and be like, okay, what gets the point across here? I'm going to take that short and I'm going to use it as a clip on the intro before the actual brand of your name comes in. So I use no less than 2, no more than 3. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to bring it over to the front. So I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to bring it over, and now I'm going to put the A, I'm going to put that clip in the beginning of the timeline, paste that, right? So you'll have 1 and let's just say you went down and you're like, okay, I want this as well. You're going to take that out, and then you're going to copy that, and you're going to put it over here. And again, see what happens if you do not make space for it. So I'm going to press the undo. I'm going to take everything rightward, and I'm going to scoot it. So now I'm going to take that piece again we took, copy, and then I'm going to paste it in place. Right? So for right now, let's just do 2, and you can go in and out with all of these clips. You can't do that with this one because you are on track magnet off. I'm going to show you what happens when you do it. As you can see, it's out of sync now, but you can extend that. You can't do that with the track magnet off because it won't move this guy. So you have to move this one, and then you can extend that. So let's just say you wanted to use these 2. Awesome. I like to zoom in a bit. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pull everything over. Cool. You're going to take that, and now you have these 2 clips. I normally put a fade black in between these. So you're going to come over here. You're going to play that. Okay, cool. So small little tip there. Bring all your audio as well. So I'm going to highlight this, cut that, and then you're going to cut that. Cool. And you're going to bring the audio over as well on that first clip. And then you have an option as well to group these, or you could come in and create a compound clip. I didn't do this before, but I wanted to make sure all of the levels were good on each person. After you do that, you're perfect to make a compound clip because it's going to combine all 4 into 1. So you have that compound clip. So now I would split that. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to put it over here to where your actual clip was. So now you have your 1 clip, 2 clip, as in shorts. You're going to make sure they're in sync. You're going to come over here. You're going to add in your transition. I like to use the black fade in between them.
Or am I wrong?
Let's just say that.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, cool.
I've been at certain things within my
Cool.
life.
It's like, okay, cool, awesome. And then you're going to come into your intro clip,
She said that.
and that is way too loud. So you're going to bring down that a little bit. Okay. You can also use this as well. You're going to
We're like 1 year.
compare
We're splitting
these
up.
together.
She said that.
As you can see, it spiked. Cool. So what I like to do now is add in text. So I'm going to add in coming up here. So I'm going to add in a text. Add in text here, and I'm going to put it the full length of until, let me get this audio out of the way, until it hits the intro part. So I'm going to put it a bit before, and from here I like to put coming up, and then dot dot dot, and let's see here, you should see it on the screen. Okay, cool. So now I like to do effects. For mine, I use the pink. Let me go where to. So it's the pink one. I believe it is this one or that one. Yeah, either or. Let's do this one for right now. Coming up, and I like to have it the animate as in loop. I like to use the ink print. Cool.
I got the girl. None of them
Cool.
could have got her.
All right, awesome. So from there, all said and done, now you're going to make sure it makes sense. If you want to add in some kind of animation where it pops in, cool, and then out where it fades out or pops out. I use the fade out.
We're splitting up.
She said that.
Perfect. You're all good to go with that. So at this time, if you really wanted to combine these, you can create combine clip, and you just have one track instead of 4. So from there, you're all good to go. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, you have your intro done. You have your markers that you use for clips. It's going to save time when you're going to be making clips. And you have your outro. Cool. So now we're going to add in subscribes, right? So I added it right after the intro, like a few seconds.
Welcome to the unbiased.
Okay, so right about here's where I would add it in. So you would add in your subscribes. So as you can see, it's a green screen,
Dating
right?
podcast where we explore.
Okay, cool. So I like to play it where it actually shows the subscribe. So I'm going to come over here to remove background. I'm going to come over here to chroma key. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to highlight it. And then I like to do the intensity to 30. If not, it's going to show green. And I don't like that. So you're going to have your video play. And then I actually like to put it off to the side somewhere. Yeah, you can put it in the center, off to the side. I put mine into the center, all because as people are actually going to watch this, it'll be like,
topics
oh,
of dating.
subscribe, cool. And you can speed it up as well as in your subscribe. So you're gonna go to basic, and then I'm gonna come over here to scale, right? You can have it big or small. And then for the speed, there it is, top, you can have it speed up so it'll go super fast.
Welcome to the unbiased dating podcast where we explore the interesting.
Cool, super fast, right? So I don't use the, how would I go, ding? I don't use the sound because you can also use this audio if you're just doing podcasts, if people are listening to this via audio only, right? So keep that in mind. So I'm actually gonna keep the speed at the
dating
same time.
Where we explore the interesting.
Cool. So these tracks you have to see as in they're being stacked on top of each other, right? So if I were to put this down below, I'm going to show you that real quick. And again, make sure your track magnet is off. And then you won't see this. It's going to be behind this. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to undo all that. As in, let me do a sticker real quick. I'm going to show you that real quick. So as you can see, let me scale this up. So here are the small tips. As you can see, the subscribe is in front of the bolt, but if I move the bolt on top, it's going to be in front. So if you will see these as top layers, right? So you have the track here is the bottom layer. It's going to show last. So if you have this one scaled up, you will not be able to see the bottom layer. So keep that in mind. So let me actually get that out of the way. That's crazy. So let's go to undo all of that. Cool. I don't need this bolt. Let me get rid of that. So we're back on the screen as you're going to come and play.
Welcome to the unbiased dating.
I like to put it a bit more in the intro. All up to you. Okay, cool. So for your subscribes, I'm going to copy this because all of the work has been done. As in you went in to remove all the keys and all that kind of stuff. If you were to go and add this separate, you have to do all these steps over. And so I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna go to copy, and I place mine depending how long my podcast is. So here it's a half an hour. I would probably do it every 10. So I'll probably do this, appears the markers here. I'm gonna do this about 10, paste. And then let's go to 20, which it's not 20 anymore, it's 21. So I'd probably put that here. And then as well, right before the end, I like to do it as well. But go over them and make sure they make sense.
A happy Valentine's.
Right? Okay, cool. Right? You're going to play
On yours.
that one as well.
Like 5 years.
Okay, cool. So here's the last step here for this. So now I'm going to add in my logo, right? So I like to do it all across the top, because if you have to cut clips and all that kind of stuff, it's not fun. That's why I do this one last. So let's zoom in, and because it is a picture, I can take this and scroll all the way out. So let me zoom back into the track. I'm going to zoom all the way out until the ending. And again, you got to see these as an overlay. This is going to show over everything. So I'm going to come over here, make sure the track is highlighted. I'm going to scale this down, and if you want to crop it or resize it, you can. Like as you can tell, it's not straight. So I'm going to make sure that's like that. Cool. Come on and crop it and get your logo. Awesome. And then you're going to put this, for me, I put mine either on this side or on this side. So if in this case, we're going to put it on that side. Cool. But be mindful of where your subscribes are, because in some cases I'll have my subscribe over here and it'll get in the way. So be mindful of that. Cool. So now you are all set and done to upload from here, right? So from here, you're going to make sure this is your correct name. You're going to go to export, right? So here again, you have an option to change the name. Let's say if you wanted to go to episode 1 draft or whatever. I put draft on the top, or I put main, as in the main one I'm going to use. I only use the draft if I upload it to YouTube and watch it later if it's a 2-hour long podcast, because I'm not trying to sit here for 2 hours. So if you have this in 1080, awesome. You have an option to do 4K, all up to you. I believe I did this into 1080p, and with all this stuff you would keep the same. The 30 frames per second, keep this the same thing. If you wanted to upload this as well as the audio file, you would click that, and I would prefer a WAV file over an MP3. It all depends on what you're going to import it into. So I'm going to click that off for now. Now all you would do is press export, and then it's going to export to your computer, right? You're going to export it. It all depends on how fast your computer is. If that video helped you out, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this out. Be sure to watch these next 2 videos on the screen. This top one is going to show you how to make multiple angles out of one angle, and the video on the bottom is going to show you how I upload it and optimize it for YouTube.